Hey guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today we are going to be doing a psych ward survival guide. So basically I'm going to be telling you kind of like the tips I have and how you can get through or prepare yourself for being in a psych ward. Some people are lucky enough to get notice before they're going into a psych ward, and some people are less lucky. Like me, every time I've been in the psych ward, it was kind of like a random admission, not really like in advanced notice, if that makes sense. Like I didn't know a week or two before I was going, but there are some people out there that have been commenting on my videos that they are going to a psych ward and that they're scared or that they need advice for how to survive the psych ward. So that's kind of why I'm doing this video. But anyways, please like this video, comment on this video, and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Obviously, you do not have to do that. It's just a recommendation of mine. It's totally not necessary. Follow me on social media. My Instagram is at Barrett_WG, and my TikTok username honestly is always changing. Right now it's Manic Depression 420, so that's what it is right now. Probably will change later on. And go check out my Teespring. I have mental health themed stuff on there, kind of stuff that is kind of ending stigma. So basically it is not degrading to mental illness or mental health, and it's not romanticizing it either. It's simply creating a neutrality with mental illness and mental health struggles. So that's all I really have to say before this video, so let's get started. So the first tip I have for you is do not start beef with patients, or like don't purposefully start conflict with other people because you don't know how they're gonna react, and sometimes your reaction can get you in trouble. If someone is bothering you, honestly, tell staff and they can deal with it. Simply because you just don't know how this person will react, especially if you're a new admission and you haven't gotten used to what the other patients do. Because you are in a mental health facility, so you just never know what someone is struggling with and how that makes them react. So I know I was one of the people that doesn't react very well to certain things, so I just recommend you don't follow my footsteps and cause problems. Sometimes keeping to yourself honestly is the better option if there is someone doing something that's bothering you, and you can basically just leave the situation if it's triggering or if someone's doing something that is causing you stress or you just really don't like it. That is my advice, is to kind of keep to yourself, but tell the staff, because they're there to kind of do that. They're there to do that. They're there to help you. So if something's bothering you from someone else, don't fight them. Don't get into physical altercations, because that could extend your stay and it's not helpful. What would be helpful is just talking to a staff member like a nurse or someone like that, and keep to yourself. My second tip is to try to be open to new things. Be open to trying new meds, new coping skills, be open to trying new groups, and also be open to trying new forms of therapy. Sometimes these things are scary and can cause people lots of anxiety, like if they don't know how they'll react on a certain med, or they've tried it before and it didn't work when they tried it, or you don't like groups. I honestly hate groups and didn't really go to very many of them in my many hospital admissions, so I'm not the best for group going advice, but at least try them. In my opinion, you should at least try them and see what it's like. Maybe you'll end up really liking groups. Personally, I just don't like groups. I don't like them, but be open to trying them and seeing if it's something that really works for you. And try new coping skills. While you're there, they will give you a lot of different coping skills you can try. Maybe they're ones that you've heard of before, but also there might be some new coping skills that maybe you've never done before, and just practice them and see how it makes you feel. And just be open to trying new things, because while you're there, you're probably not gonna get any better doing the same things you were doing before the admission. So just try new things. And yes, if something is making you uncomfortable, giving you lots of anxiety, and just negative feelings, and let's say you're really anxious about trying a new med, let a staff member know and they can really help you through it. The third kind of recommendation type thing I have is to get out of your room. Honestly, getting out of your room makes time go by so much faster just because there are other people there and you can kind of like talk to them, or you can play games with them, learn card games, things like that. Getting out of your room makes things just go by faster, even if it's like to just walk around the unit. And some facilities don't let you have your phone, so if you're in a facility with that rule, it honestly helps the time go by faster just because you have no phone to scroll through on TikTok or whatever. And if you don't have your phone, it just goes by so much slower. So getting out of your room is important in any facility, but specifically in the ones with no phones, it helps go by way faster. You can meet like new people that are also going through really hard things just like you, and maybe you'll learn something from them or learn like a new skill that really helped them. And maybe it will really help you, you never know. Like, as I said, walking around the unit is a pretty good way to kind of just get energy out. If you are like me, sometimes you just get lots of energy and you don't know what to do with it, because when I'm at home, I get rid of the energy in a negative coping way. So when I'm there, I have to find new ways to kind of cope with my burst of energy. So walking around the unit kind of helps with that. So maybe that's something that would help you. I don't know, but getting out of your room really does make the time go by faster. Number 4, I have as participate in groups. You don't have to go to every single group on the unit, and you don't have to fully participate if you are in a group. Maybe you're just trying it out to see what the kind of vibe is in the group and what kind of things they do in a certain group. But like personally for me, art groups, that was one of the groups I actually kind of did because it really keeps you busy and just like, I don't know, it keeps you busy and makes time go by quicker, and it gives you something to do and distracts you from your crippling mental health. And the art groups can sometimes kind of be really fun if you like art. I don't know. I like the art groups. We did that every day, every second day, I don't know. But we did art groups and they were really fun. I think that you should try different groups just to see if you like it. If you don't like them, at least you tried. You don't have to go to that group again unless you're on a kids psych ward. The kids psych ward, they kind of make you go to group anyways, and they make you go to all the groups. But in the adult side, you kind of have more of a choice. If you're on the adult side and you don't like the group, it's whatever, you don't have to go back to it. Or maybe they'll do something different and you'll want to go back to it. But honestly, at least you tried the group and that's good. Maybe you'll learn some skills. I don't know. I just didn't like groups, but maybe you do. Maybe you'll like them. For number 5, I have ask someone to bring you stuff from home. It's really nice just to have some stuff from home as like comfort items. I think some good kind of things to bring would be a blanket, a pillow, because their pillows suck and their blankets suck, but they do have really good warm blankets. So if you're cold, ask for a heated blanket. Their pillows and blankets suck, so I'd recommend bringing one from home. If you're into reading, or even if you're not, I'd recommend bringing maybe like 1 or 2 books, because the books they have there aren't the greatest, and maybe you have some books at home that you really wanted to read but you never just found the time to do it. You can spend a lot of your time reading there. I did that. I finished a book in 3 days, and that's really impressive for me with the fact I have ADHD and cannot read for my life. I like reading, but only when I have the motivation to read, and that really gave me the motivation to read. So I read a book. I really liked it. Now my mom's reading it because she wanted to see what it was, but she also has ADHD and has not read very much of it. So books are really good to have just for your free time. And I would also recommend bringing in a journal. They might not let you have like notebooks with coils, so I'd recommend bringing one that doesn't have that just in case, because when I was in the kids psych ward, they took my notebook away because it had coils in it. So I don't know if they do that in the adult side, because I just brought a book that had no coils just so I could keep my notebook just in case. So if you're allowed to have your own clothes, I would recommend bringing, like, asking someone to bring you clothes with no strings or laces kind of stuff, because they will take those out of your clothes and they're nearly impossible to put back in. I have so many like bunny hugs, hoodies, pants and stuff like that that have no strings in them anymore because I couldn't put them back, or they won't even give them back to you. So bring stuff that doesn't have strings. So number 6 is to talk with other patients about common interests. You can talk about like hobbies, your favorite snacks, your favorite colors. You can color together and play card games. Talk about your work life, what kind of job you have. Maybe you'll find someone with a similar job. And I don't have kids, but if you have kids, you can like talk to other parents that are in the psych ward and kind of just talk about your kids and how great they are. I wouldn't recommend degrading your kids while you're there, but if you have kids, you can talk about your kids with other people who have kids. Personally, I liked to talk about like work and what you do in your free time outside of the psych ward, and kind of just color, play card games, things like that. It kind of helps the time go by. Plus, you might meet some cool people. You might find a new friend. I don't know if specifically your facility would let you talk to them outside of the psych ward, but if you can, you might meet some new friends. But make sure your relationship with them is healthy, because you don't want any toxic relationships to go out in the real world, you know? So just make sure that you're being good. Make sure you're being like smart about it. Yeah, just talk about your common interests and things like that. So number 7 is, if your hospital approves, I would recommend getting someone to come visit you. It doesn't have to be like an everyday thing, but if they are willing to come every day, that is great. But even like once a week, once every few days, once every second day, every day, whatever kind of works for you guys. If the hospital approves them, you can have them come visit. With COVID, it is a bit harder, because when I was there at the beginning of the year, like May, June, we were only allowed to have one visitor and they could only visit for like an hour. But the last time I was there in September, October, we could have 2 different people visit us at separate times, and they could come in between certain hours and could stay for as long as they want, just as long as it's between those hours. Wherever you are, you just have to kind of follow the rules about visitors. But if you have someone that you really want to visit you, let's say your mom, or maybe you have a bad relationship with your parent, maybe like a close friend or someone in your family, just someone like that to come visit you. Make sure they're a positive person in your life and someone that is really gonna help you recover, because that is a big thing, and while you're there, you want to focus on recovery. So don't get people who are gonna be toxic or kind of be bad for you. Don't let them come visit. But if you have like positive person that you really want to see and they're willing to come visit you, I'd recommend having them visit you. So number 8 is, do not try to run or AWOL. Have I done that? Yes. Have I done that in almost every hospital admission I've had? Yes. Did I get out in most of them? Yes. But they will bring you back with security guards? Yes, they will. So I just highly don't recommend doing this, even though I do it. Just don't do it. It makes your stay longer, and they'll put you in hospital clothes if you aren't already, and you will get in trouble. So yeah, you'll basically lose privileges, you'll be in hospital clothes, and you'll stay longer, and you'll have to regain trust with the staff. So I just don't recommend it. So this is me editing. I just thought of this. When you AWOL or run, they probably will either put you in restraints or put you in ICR, which is basically seclusion. So don't do that. I know I'm coming from the side where I do that and these things happen to me. In the moment when I do it, it's because I am really stressed and I'm doing things I'm not supposed to. So I just recommend, as a person kind of looking at this from the outside view kind of thing, like from a different point of view, I would recommend not doing that. It's not going to do any good. You're going to get put back there and they're going to find you and bring you back. So it's not worth it. Number 9 is to actually talk to the doctors and nurses about what is going on. It might be kind of scary to do that just because you don't want to stay longer than you need to, but they're not going to keep you longer than they think you need to be there because it's expensive for them to keep you there. They just don't want to keep you there longer than you have to be there because a hospital is a business. They honestly don't want to keep you there longer than you have to be because it's expensive to keep you there. So if they think you're ready to go, they will let you go. So don't avoid talking to them about the things that you're going through just because you're scared they'll keep you there longer. They might keep you there longer, but it's not going to be longer than what you actually have to be there for. While you're there, you'll want to get the help that you need because sometimes if you spiral again and you need to go back, they might not have a bed for you. And basically just stay there until you need, like, they'll keep you there until you need to be. That made no sense. They'll keep you there as long as you need to. They aren't going to keep you longer than that. They just need to build trust with you and all that jazz. So don't worry about that. Just try and get the help that you need while you're there because maybe you'll need it another time. Maybe you'll be back there in a week, who knows? And if you go back in like a week, they will keep you there longer than the last time you were there. So every time you like come back within like a few days of you being discharged, they will keep you there longer. So just stay there until you feel ready or you know you're ready and the doctors know you're ready. So just talk to them about what's actually going on. It just makes more sense because when I was like 15, 16, I would like go home and then I'd get sent back within a week, and then I'd go home and then get sent back for a week in a week, and I was there for 6 months. So that kind of proves my point. They will keep you there forever. Not forever, but they will keep you there for a long period of time. If you get discharged and you're back in a few days. So just stay there until they think you're ready. Number 10 is if you don't understand something or you need clarification on something, ask. Just ask about it and they will clarify the situation for you. Like example, you could be getting new meds, new treatment, things like that. So if you're starting new meds and you don't know what they're for and you're confused with why you're starting them, ask. Ask why and ask for clarification. They'll probably have it in their notes and they can tell you right away. And if it's not in the notes, the next time the doctor sees you, they'll probably tell you. But you might have to bring it up yourself because they might not know you were asking about it. So just bring it up to the person that has the information. Because you might be wondering like why they're doing something, what it's for, and what it's supposed to do. And it's kind of good to know what it's supposed to do and why they're doing it because it can really help you know what you're looking for in your improvement or betterment of self, you know? It kind of just helps you know what to look for when they ask, do you feel any better? Because you might not know why they're doing it or what it's for, and you might think, well, I still feel like shit. But maybe what it's trying to do is working and you just don't know that because you don't know what it's for. So I just recommend if there's something you want to know or you need to ask for clarification about something, let the nurses and doctors know. Number 11 is if you have PRNs, which is like medication that you take if you need them. And if you need them, use them. They sometimes help. They might not be the right PRNs for you. Maybe they'll find better ones for you. But if you need your PRNs, ask for them because it makes their life easier and it makes your life easier. Because before you get too overwhelmed about something, ask for them. I'm not good at that. I'm never good at that. But it's better to ask for them than not to. They might have prescribed you PRNs, use them if you're having a hard time. Common PRNs are like Ativan, Seroquel, Haldol, olanzapine, Zopiclone, Loxapine, things like that. When I'm in the psych ward, usually they have like PRN antipsychotics or PRN anti-anxiety kind of meds, kind of things like that. I have PRNs for when I'm at home, and I'm using Seroquel and Loxapine, but when I'm in the psych ward, sometimes they'll give me Haldol or Ativan, olanzapine, Zopicone. I have Zopicone at home too, I guess. So things like that. If you're having a hard time, maybe you're having a hard time falling asleep, but if you need your PRNs, just ask for them. They will be willing to give them to you if you need them, and telling them that you need them really shows that you're trying to get better and that you're focusing on recovery, and that might get you out sooner because you're really working on yourself and you're being proactive about it instead of being like me and hitting my head against the wall because I'm stressed and cannot do other things and then get PRNs. It's better to just use them when you know you're spiraling into a bad mindset. So if you have them, use them if you need them. Number 12 is to use the time you have there to really better yourself and work on recovery. Work on using new coping skills, identifying your triggers and warning signs, and work on becoming more aware of your emotions and what causes them, practicing mindfulness, safety planning, getting your meds to the right dosage and the right medication for you, and setting yourself up for success when you get discharged. Those are things that are quite important while you're staying in the hospital. So basically, work on yourself and use the time to really do that while you're there, because you might not get chances to do as much of these things out back in the real world. Like, you won't have as much time to do so. So while you're there, really work on it and really focus on getting better while you're in the hospital rather than pushing it off and then you end up getting discharged and you don't know what to do. Number 13 is to not lie about drug use, alcohol use, vaping, smoking kind of use during intake, because your facility might be non-smoking or no, like vaping, no smoking kind of thing, and they will have to give you nicotine replacement. So if you don't tell them that you do that, you won't get nicotine replacement and withdrawals will be hell. So just let them know that you do that so they can give you nicotine replacement. Or if you use drugs or alcohol and you're gonna have withdrawals, they can really help you out with that and give you medication for it. So don't lie about that stuff in intake, because if you lie, they won't be able to give you the support that you need through withdrawing and things like that. So I just highly recommend you don't lie about it so you can get what you need while you're there. Number 14 is to keep yourself busy. Find ways to entertain yourself when there is nothing to do. When I'm in the adult psych ward, they let me have my phone, and when I was in the children's psych ward, they would not let me have my phone. So if you have your phone, you can kind of do whatever you want. Just like watch TikToks or whatever. Learn new TikTok dances, I don't know. Or you could read, you could play games, I don't know. Keep yourself busy. It goes by a lot faster if you are doing something like reading a book or coloring or things like that. So just keep yourself busy and work on yourself. Lastly, we are on number 15, and number 15 is to take advantage of the resources that they give you at discharge. They might refer you to a counselor or therapist, and if they do, show up to that appointment because it's probably a reason they referred you to one. Ask about groups you can go to outside of hospitals, so maybe like a DBT group or something like that. I was supposed to kind of work on DBT, so I'm doing that with my community mental health nurse because I refused to go to the group. So I'm working on DBT right now, and you can go to groups for like anxiety, depression, things like that. OCD, I don't know. There's schizophrenia groups where I live, things like that. Like basically just go, if they recommend that you go to a group, go to a group. When I was in the hospital in May and June, I went to a day hospital group, which is transitioning you out of hospital, and they give you kind of like resources. They can refer you to things and stuff like that. So that was good. And go to the appointments they set you up. So maybe they'll give you a follow-up appointment with your psychiatrist, your family doctor, things like that. just go to the appointments. Don't be worried about them because they might need to follow up on med changes, things like that. And if your meds are making you feel really bad, it's a good idea to go to that appointment. And if they're making you feel really good, it's good to let them know that so they know what med is working for you. And if they recommend applying for disability or government assistance, do that because it's really helpful. Like right now, I'm not allowed to work due to my mental health. So they recommended I apply for EI, which is unemployment. So I did that and my application is currently still under review, but apply to the things that they recommend you to apply to. They are important that you do so. So take advantage of what they're giving you. Thank you so much for watching this video. I really hope this helped you or helped you learn something new. Please like this video, comment on this video, and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Obviously, you don't have to do that, but I would really like if you did. Follow me on my social media at Barrett_WG on Instagram and currently Manic Depression 420 on TikTok. And the last thing I need to tell you guys is to go check out my Teespring. I have mental health stuff on there that's not degrading to mental illness and it's not romanticizing mental illness. It is simply creating a neutrality with mental health and mental illness. That sounds like something you're interested in. Go check it out. Anyways, that is all for this video and I'll see you next week. Bye guys.